Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the morning roast. I'm, of course, Sugar Chris, and I have a new guest with me.
Freebird! That was the best intro to a show I've ever seen in my entire life. That was epic.
Yeah, that was thanks to Mr. Red Gaze. I think he goes by Dread Gaze now over there on his YouTube channel. He made that intro for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he does good intros. He does, I think, trailers too for crowdfunders. But now, how do I say your name? Onrie?
That's perfect. Yeah. You know what? There's so few people who get it right the first time. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. People always call me Ori or Orny, and yeah, it happens all the time. But thank you. I appreciate that.
Looks like your cat's woke up.
Oh, it's actually my dog. I have a
dog.
Yeah, this is him here. He'll come and say hi here. Got some food on his nose. This is Bentley. And it's kind of hard to see him here. We'll get some light in so you can see his face.
Oh, pug?
No, he's a French bulldog.
Oh, that was my second guess there.
Yeah.
French
bulldog. But he kind of does look like a cat, doesn't he? He's very alpha, but he's like a tank without a gun. He has like a lot of muscle. He's like really heavy, but he doesn't have very sharp teeth. So it's like he's like a tank without a gun, you know. He's a very food-driven dog too.
My brother always
mad because there's construction workers working right now, so he's just letting them know, like, you know, he's not cool with it.
Yeah, my brother, he was always a bulldog guy.
Mm-hmm.
I never was myself. I liked them, but I always preferred my Shar-Peis more that we had at the house. But we what was I gonna say? Oh, thanks everybody for joining us in here. He's our new guest today, so we should start by introducing you. Getting gosh dang it! Now I'm all jumbled after the dog.
You know, don't even sweat it. You know, I'm still like not even quite there yet myself. But go ahead.
What's wrong with me today?
Thanks. Don't be hard on yourself.
So, yeah, we should start by introducing you to the cast. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
So,
all right. So my name's Onrie Kompan. And actually, Chris and I were just talking because he wanted to make sure he pronounced my name right, and a lot of people mess up my name. But I am proud to say that Chris got my name right the first time, so thank you very much. When the Fabio of indie comics gets your name right the first time, you know you're doing something right. So I am a comics publisher and reseller. I currently have a book out called War Lion, and it is about an old warrior passing on his legacy to his daughter. And it's kind of like Blade, Demolition Man, and Logan all rolled into one. And the book's actually a tribute to my stillborn child. And it's a martial arts dystopian epic. And I haven't checked where we are as of this morning because honestly, yesterday was kind of a rough go at it on Kickstarter. We were inching towards 50% funding. And then we had some people drop out. Then we had someone come in, and then they decreased their pledge. And it's a roller coaster right now. And I got to a point where I was just like, you know what? If I sit in front of the computer any longer, looking at this every 5 minutes, I'm going to go insane. So I decided to take a step back. So honestly, I don't even want to know where I'm at right now. But last I checked, we were close to about 50% funding, and I'm really excited about this project. I actually have a copy here that I can show you guys, and this is of a limited print run that we did, and we actually have a number of these books available right now on the Kickstarter. These were covers that were done by Frank Uzan, who's an Israeli-based artist. And he reached out to me right before C2E2, and he's like, "Hey, Onrie, I want to do a cover for you." And I'm like, That's awesome, dude. But I can't afford you, and we have like a really tight deadline. I don't know if I can even get books. And he's like, all right, I'll cut my rate in half. And I'm like, it's just not feasible, you know? And he goes, all right, here's what I'll do. I'll do the artwork for free. Just give me half of the supply of the books. And I said, you know what? I will do that. You want to work on this? We'll do it. So he put together this really awesome cover. And we got it out in C2E2, and it had a very limited print run. We only did 70 copies of this cover, and he took half, and the half that he took with him, half of it, you know, whatever he sold at C2E2, he then took the rest back with him to Israel, and the rest he left with me, and I had him sign them all, and these are all signed and numbered too. They're triple signed by me, the editor, and him. But here's some of the interior artwork for Warline. And I choreographed all the martial arts fight scenes in the book. And if you go and check out our Kickstarter right now and you scroll down, you can actually download a 12-page preview of the book. And the great thing about this is if you back the campaign, you get a digital copy of the book no matter what. Even the most basic pledge level is actually just a digital copy of the book. But every pledge level beyond that, you get a digital copy of the book. So, and it's done. It's ready. Our fulfillment on this book is going to be super fast. And the sooner we get this funded, the sooner we can start getting involved with doing some really cool stretch goals. So I'm working on getting some stuff together. And hopefully we'll be able to fund this soon so that we can start to reach those stretch goals and do some other cool stuff for you guys.
Yeah, I think that's the first time I've ever heard somebody do like a, you know, I'll give you half of the supply deal. That's a pretty interesting agreement you had going on there.
You know, I honestly think it was he wanted to draw the character. Mm-hmm. He really just wanted to do it, and if I could have paid him, I would have paid him. But I was just not in a position to do it. I mean, like right now, that's kind of the problem with everything is when business is good, and I've been doing publishing for the last 13 years now. And, you know, I go to conventions and I sell lots of books. I've probably hand sold over 150,000 comics over the course of my career of my own stuff. You know, that doesn't count all the stuff that I resell too. But from all those books, it's like once you sell out of the stock of books, you have to put a lot of money down to get those books reprinted if you want to continue to sell it. Or even if you're making something new, you still got to plunk down that money for the print costs, and it's not a small amount of money. And the problem with working with printers that are here in the U.S. is that the prices are super high, or they're just not willing to work with you based on certain things, like certain parameters. So there was one printer I was working with last year that wouldn't print anything that had nudity in it. Just like,
really,
you could have as much blood as you want, but nudity, oh, forget that. You know,
that's kind of weird. You'd think a printer would just print anything as long as they're getting business.
Yeah, you would think so, right? Well, they said no, so that was it. And I was not happy with the print quality. So, and I was really concerned about working with China because that's who I have a printer that I've been working with out there for a long time, but. Fortunately, we made it work, and I was able to continue working with them because they do good quality books. And so we're getting our bulk print of Warline done out there, and I'm hoping it'll get here relatively soon, probably by like middle or closer to the end of July. Which means that our fulfillment is going to be super fast. Like as soon as I get these books, I want you guys to have your books. I don't want to like wait months on end and have people messaging me and being like, "Hey, where's my stuff, dude? Like, you know, I hate you. You lied to me and took my money." Like, I don't want that. I want fast fulfillment. And oh, sorry. Go ahead.
We got popping in.
Oh, awesome.
Hey, Sam.
What's up? How's it going?
Sam, what were you and Soul up to?
What do you mean?
He pops up almost at the exact same time that you did. So he said, "Hi, Chris. Thanks for the email, but I didn't manage to leave work today before 4 p.m., so I'm a bit late, but I'm here now. Also, hi, Onrie and chat." So, hey, what were you two up to? You both popping in at the exact same time.
That's because it's quite simple, my friend. And by the way, hi, Onrie.
Hey, what's up, man? Nice to meet you.
Now to address Sugar here, it's quite simple. The stream starts at 11:15 usually, and Soul is it's fully aware of it. And you started at 11:05, so you started earlier, so you can give us shit. So
No,
you're
that's
the one
my
starting
fault.
trouble. I'm on the the trifecta here.
I haven't done 11:15 in like years, Sim. Let it go.
Not years, a few months. You've been doing that on purpose, so you can hashtag blame Sim.
Ugh, I don't know.
Everybody knows about it. See, I'm sure even the chat's gonna go, yeah, we know. We've seen it.
But also,
Sim's always on time, 11:15.
let's see. We got McGee popped in. Hey, McGee. And Russ.
Good
was
morning,
here.
everyone.
Russ is here.
What's up, Russ?
And Canales. Hola.
Oh, hola, hermano. ¿Qué pasa?
It's a good crowd. It's a good crowd here, man. This is awesome.
Oh, Russ was giving me shit. I'm sorry, Russ. I know I was
Buenos
fumbling
dias.
pretty hard earlier. There was no soul. It threw me off, I guess. Canales says he loves him a good, properly choreographed fight scene.
I honestly think that is an art, and especially in sequential storytelling. And just to kind of bring up something, I had a conversation with another creator who I would love to introduce you to at some point. His name is Ted Sikora. He does Hero Form Comics.
Oh yeah, Ted. Yeah.
You know Ted, yeah. So
I
Ted,
know. Well, I've never had him on the show, but I know of him. Yeah.
oh, he's fantastic. He's one of the sweetest guys out there. He's one of my best friends in comics, and we do a lot of shows together. He had a big hand in helping me with Warline. Like he looked over a lot of the book and was like, "Hey man, your colors suck here. This line really blows." And I was like, "Fuck you, Ted." We're both students of the craft, and going back to my point, John Romita Sr. died, and
That's what I was just about to say. I just found that out. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were talking this morning, and Ted, I called up Ted, thinking, hey, it's just another, morning. I'm like, hey man, how's it going? He's really upset about this, because he really wanted, he made a post about it. He wanted to interview him for a documentary, and it never worked out. And so he was just really upset because John Romita had such a profound impact on him as an artist. He had a profound impact on everybody.
He was freaking awesome. I remember meeting him and his son, and dude, it was one of the best meetings I ever freaking had. And I thought they would have been like just say, I'm not gonna say names, but we've all met some of our comic book heroes, and some of them are douche, or a bit like
I agree.
Our prima donnas or whatever. So one of the greatest thing about meeting the Romitas is, dude, they're so down to earth and fun to talk to, and they're so like enthusiastic of meeting their fans that it's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was lucky that the one of the times I met them in Fan Expo Toronto was they were both there at the same time, and they did something that I wish I could do with one of my kids one day, which is doing a versus. So it was an artist versus artist. It was a sketch up. And it was son versus dad. And I'm like, dude, I wish I get to do that one day. And I want my kid to beat the fuck out of me.
Well, John Romita Jr., who I've met, I met him last year at Dragon Con for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Truly one of the sweetest.
Oh, Romita? Yeah, Junior, yeah.
And he's the kind of person that if he meets you, he'll remember who you are.
Yeah.
He's that kind of guy. But
I remember when I saw him, he looked at me with a smile, with a smirk, because I was there for the review, and you had to give donations to back in that moment because they were raising money for a special thing. It was the EO initiative or something. It was, anyways. It's for the support that the artists get. So I gave money, but the thing is that the line was too long, so I missed out. So I had to go see them at another event, right? Anyways. So I get there, and they bring me in, and he looks at my portfolio. He looks at me and goes, "What do you want me to say, dude?" I'm like, "What you think?" He goes, "Don't steal my fucking job." And you know that's how I actually got to know Junior, and he's freaking awesome. And he's one of the ones that when Tony goes, people used to tell me, give me a lot of shit about my style and stuff like that, but I'm the one that delivers. I'm the one that, and I'm like, dude, people can say anything they want about your art style. Your storytelling is on freaking point. He goes, really, dude, we have one of the best storyteller that there is.
He is. He truly is. And you know, the one thing I'm going to say is really going back to, you know, the whole idea of like a great choreographed fight scene. What Ted was mentioning was John Romita Sr. had he basically studied a lot of romance comics, and he never wanted his characters to remain still. And you know, he always wanted to have some sort of motion flowing with the characters and everything. And that is, I think, an essential for all sequential storytelling. Like, even if you have two characters talking on a page, you need to show gesture, you need to show movement, you know, kind of like
emotion
and things like that. And John Romita agonized over his work. He agonized over it. He was never happy with it.
Yeah, you always thought it was subpar. Like, it's one of the things that that kind of, you know, it's the same thing with Turner. Michael Turner didn't think he was the shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of the things I realized. The I'll say it that way, a bit blunt. The fake ass bitches have more attitude and more ego than the actual guys that you idolize and go, they're the shit.
Yeah,
They usually don't think they're the shit. Same thing with when I met Mignola and a whole bunch of others. They're really down to earth, and they're really freaking awesome people to meet.
Yeah, you know, it's
Biz is another one. He's freaking awesome.
Oh, who is it?
Simon Bisley. That guy's like,
oh yeah. No,
it's like meeting a guy you're working with at the shop.
We forget that these are all people, you know, like these legends. And you know, I've had a chance to meet Stan Lee multiple times. And Stan was really kind of larger than he was a larger than life figure, you know, because he was always on. You know, there was never a point where like Stan was off. He was always.
There was 12 years where he was just missing, trying to make it into Hollywood. Then he came back because everybody thought he was dead for like 10 years. If you remember that was in the 80s and 90s. He came back after he tried to befriend Hugh Hefner and tried a whole bunch of stuff. Then he came back.
Yeah, I don't recall that period as well, but you know, certainly
he was working for Trauma back then. Yeah, Trauma Movies was trying to start the. You know, his main goal for Stanley was to be in movies. You always wanted a script writer. Yeah.
All right. Well, we got Crystal saying the most important thing. # blame Sim. Thank you, McGee. Thank you. Always appropriate for the stream.
So's like, I still think Sim should work a bit on his usage of the word shit. Sometimes it just doesn't sound right. Like, maybe I'm trying to swear less.
We got Marinus.
But when I get passionate, it comes out.
Yes. Rest in peace, John Romita. Yes. Russ says, R.I.P. John Romita, one of the best, the giant whose shoulders we stand upon.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it was sad to see it, but he lived a very long life. He was, 99 years old?
Yep.
So that was great to hear. You know,
it's one of the things that, you know, it's how can I say, with all the death that's been happening out of nowhere at 50 and this and that, when you hear somebody like John Romita Sr. that, you know, he passed away, but in his 90s, and you're like, yeah, he had a good life. Like, hopefully he left comfortably. Is that a nice way? Yeah.
No, I think that's
he left in a nice way. Yeah.
Good way of putting it. That's actually what I said to Ted. I'm like, you know, that's the right way of looking at it. But the thing that I find, you know, that's a life well lived. You know, even Stan, you know, it's like 95 years old. Like, we all want to live to be 100. Like, I have a grandma right now who's like 96 years old, and she's not herself anymore. Like, she's alive, all her organs are working. You know, she's okay, but her memory is completely lapsed. Is that life anymore?
Mm-hmm.
You know, at least John Romita Sr. and Stanley and all these legends, they got to live.
But even there, Stanley at the end, he was being technically abused. Like he wasn't there anymore. They were dragging him and signing and shit. And I'm not gonna get into it, but he was under a contract where Marvel owned his fucking ass. Like literally. Like he had to, like he couldn't say Kirby created shit. That's why you have a lot of recording where I would like to be able to say that, but he was under contract, hard contract. So he had to show up there. He had to go sign. And even if somebody was there to hold his hand to sign, and that's I'm sorry, that's elderly abuse. And I'm not a big fan of Stanley for certain things because of the Kirby and stuff like that, right? But that's elderly abuse. And let's give, you have to give Stanley his respect for what he did because he was a great salesman. He was. And Marvel would not be where it was. So it's kind of like, I think what they did was pretty freaking inhumane.
Let's see.
Having to have somebody you hold his hand and sign. Come on, at this point, we're done.
Yeah,
Let the guy rest.
there's a good book. I personally enjoyed it.
Hopefully, it will. Which one?
As a fan of Stan, it's called The Rise and Fall of Stan Lee.
Hmm.
And some of the stuff was not accurately, like put together in there. There were some misquotes in there and things like that. However, it was still a really great book in the sense that it explained what happened close to the end of his at the end of his life. But I remember not long before he passed away, he posted a video where he was talking directly to us as fans, and he was able to say his goodbyes and say how much he loved his fans and how important they were. I don't think that Stan was ever
but
at a point where he wouldn't have wanted to continue being there for fans. I just think that there were people who wanted to profit off of his success.
and they succeeded.
And well, they didn't actually. They actually ended up blowing up in their face and pretty quickly because people saw what was happening to him. But he left behind a legacy regardless of anything. And I understand how people feel about everything between him and Jack.
The only thing I'll say about it is Jack Kirby created Stanley. There wouldn't be any Marvel without Kirby. But Stanley was the cell guy, and they were a great duo.
I actually have to contest that. I'm going to say that they both did it together. Stan was as much a writer as Jack was an artist, and they wrote and created everything together. I don't think it would have been done any other way. Like, I understand how people feel about the whole Stan versus Jack thing, but there was no Stan versus Jack. The two of them respected each other, even till the end. Jack and Stan were always on good terms. Now, Stan and Steve Ditko, on the other hand, that was a little bit of a
Stan and Kirby were not in good terms. They were being professional.
No, they were on good terms, and I have that on account of people who actually knew them directly, like people who worked for Marvel in the bullpen and had good relations with Stan's daughter and Jack's family. So they never were on bad terms with each other. There was most of it came from a lot of it was generated, from from different people who wanted to see the two of them kind of go at it. But they had their differences, but in the end, it was business. They got along just fine.
That's not what I was told.
Well, it's really because
that's not the story Neil Adams has to say.
We see it from a business standpoint, right? But like business is business. Like the way people get along when they're not.
But that's my point. Is you can get along for business even if you hate each other. That's my point. You can still be professional about stuff because that's one of the things they were. That's for sure. Because it could have got a lot uglier than it actually did.
Sure.
All right, let me see here.
Stan was abusing.
So says Sim, your little girl will probably beat you in a blood hunt draw off one day.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Let's see.
If she sticks to her gun and wants to do manga and comic books, yeah, I freaking love that.
Russ says, you look at all of that age, Bushima, Starlin, Romita, Steranko, etc. They instilled energy and emotion into every panel.
Yes, they did.
But to be honest, like Buscema, I was never a huge fan, though. To be quite honest, I don't know why.
Russ says, Stan was abused. Yeah. Yeah, shame what they did to him there at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Baz says, no, they didn't.
No, they didn't. Dude, if you talk to Kirby, you would know that. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris is professional, and he obviously hates him. Lord. All right. So
Why do you hate me, Chris?
I got a problem with Canadians.
What you watched that they do right and that didn't sit right with you? More cowboy than your Cowboys?
He sits on the horse backwards. What's up with that?
He's that good. He doesn't even need to look ahead.
Yeah, well, going back way back in the conversation to talking about fight scenes, like the first fight scene I remember really standing out when I was young was a Kirby fight scene with Captain America. And I thought it was so cool. And it flowed so well. It was like a 9-panel page, and it just flowed so well on the back and forth. I think it was him and Batroc, the leaper, and stuff. And they were just going back and forth, and Captain America just started beating him. And I was like, "Oh, ooh."
I remember one of the conversation I had with oh damn, why do I have a blank right now? Adam. I have why I just blanked on the freaking name. He just passed away not too long ago.
Was it?
Okay, keep going. It's gonna come back. I was thinking of an artist that just passed away not too long ago. It was a fucking legend, and right now I just blank on his fucking name.
Oh, okay. It'll come through eventually. Gosh.
Neil Adams. There you go. That was why Adam Neil Adams, and he was telling me something that he was repeating something to me that I heard in an interview where when he used to really dislike and not understand Kirby until he did. And he goes, I went from going like that shit to how the fuck can I do this? I cannot do this. And that's exactly what you guys were talking. It's about the synergy, the energy of a composition. That with just a few lines, with this illustrating a sinew with a thick line instead of drawing the entire muscle all the time at perfection, but he would give you power and storytelling so flamboyant in your face that he goes, even I can do it. I just can't. It was frustrating trying to get that same energy, but staying with my style. It just doesn't work. So, it goes versus the realistic art and the stylized one. There's a reason why stylized kind of like always overrules over this super realistic art in comics because it's about visual storytelling. Because it was a big change for him because he used to be very, very, how can you say, a bit of a dick on the fact that everything needed to be drawn realistically to him until he had to understand the Kirby aspect to it. And I was the same. Like, I remember seeing his stuff before. I'm like, I don't understand why people love it so much until something click in your mind and you go, holy crap, I get it now.
I feel that way about Jodorowsky.
Oh, I fucking love Jodorowsky.
Yeah, I didn't get his
one of the best fucking writers ever.
Yeah, and but going back to the whole sequential art thing, because I never did finish my thought on that.
Go ahead.
It's okay. So Romita Sr., he used to study romance comics, and that was how he, kind of like got his sense of, flow and everything with sequential art. And actually I did say it. I did finish my thought. I'm sorry about that. I interrupted for no good reason.
Oh, and Russ, fuck you. Trudeau's not Canadian. He's Cuban.
Let's see. Russ said that happens to a lot of artists about Kirby. Happened to me, and it helped me improve. And we got Pale Rider popped in. Sugar, I've decided what you're going to do. Oh, have you now? Kirby is God, says Marinus.
I don't know if you saw that one, but my answer was
I mean,
because
in the Marvel universe, like probably. Yeah.
my answer was to Russ saying Trudeau is Canadian, not a great sample. I'm like, he's fucking Cuban. Leave me alone. Yeah, he did Drew romance comics. So did Kirby. Because that's what was selling back then. And right before Marvel, they were all going back to doing romance comic book until you went to Marvel.
Isn't it crazy how they all started out? Like it's like they were all just draftsmen. It's like just.
But they were all losing everything. As if you check their history, like Marvel was closing when Kirby and when his company closed, he lost his work. Marvel was going down the thing that Kirby was actually closing. Like they were Kirby when walked in, Stanley was there writing the final papers. They were closing the fucking thing, but then they had that fucking moment. It's always like when you get into a rut where you get an extra creative push, and then you have nothing to lose. And when you have nothing to lose, you go all out. And it's one of the things, like you're saying, they all made it in their past 40s. Why? Because art takes time to understand and learn and master, and eventually to find your own style within it, and then finding your own voice. It takes time.
I agree.
No, it's one of the reasons why you get a conundrum like Liefeld. A lot of people hate him, a lot of people love him, but that guy was in way too young and never really evolved before you got to make it. Now he thinks he's the shit without evolving. He never evolved. He never changed. He never got better from when he came in.
I would argue the same is true about Frank Miller.
Frank Miller, it's more about he wanted to simplify his style to the obscura classici type of thing, a bit like Mignola did. And I do have to admit that the last covers kind of felt like what he did with Dark Knight 2, DK2. Like he really was not into it. He was just getting it done fast because you have to do it fast. And if you look, it's the same art because he's able to go back to his Sin City style.
Yeah.
But I think ever since he did Sin City, he just can't go back to what he used to do before.
Well, I think he just established something.
Yeah.
That worked for what he was doing in that arena. Like
he found his own style. Yeah.
Yeah, and it works within that confine. But like, try and take it out and say have him start drawing Marvel stuff. I don't think that applies to that.
But I think it's one of the same reason why I'm happy he didn't go back to Ronin, because Ronin, I really love this series, the book Ronin that he did a while back, and his art style is very weird in there compared to what you would see. He tried to go full French comic. He tried to be like Mobius, but I don't think he would have been able to do it again, if that makes sense, after all of this. So it's Philip Tan that took over, and some people were complaining, and I'm like, no, holy shit, it's great. Like the Ronin 2 thing, it's freaking awesome.
But again, that's not his art. That's
yeah. It's Philip Tan doing finishes. He does the layout, but I cannot wait because he's doing the prequel to Sin City.
Yeah, and I think it's like
a Western, yeah.
Like a Western, yeah, that does.
And I can't fucking wait. And the art that he's been showing looks like a Sin City classic art, and I cannot wait. Can't wait. Okay, so Warline.
Yeah,
it's a Warline.
All right, so we.
Does it have a trailer that we haven't played yet?
I really love the fact that we were able to talk comics, and the fact that I can feel your passion on this, and I love it. It's fantastic.
Oh, dude, comic books, movies, and animation is my life.
Yes, sir.
We've talked plenty now about the old artists and stuff. Time to make way for the future with Warlion.
Appreciate it.
So what is Warlion?
So Warline is a book that I actually started working on around the time of COVID. So it was my COVID machination. And I really wanted it to be something that set me apart as a writer because from what I already had been working on, because I was mainly doing historical comics. So I wanted to show that, hey, I can do other stuff too. and that I had done some like horror stuff. I did a story for Tales from the Crypt, and but I really wanted to do something more superhero based. And my original comic, which was a superhero book, was that was like the first comic I ever made. Which everybody's first comic is always a flop, But that's how you learn. You have to. It's kind of like you getting hazed. You got to go out there. You just got to do it. And I learned a lot from it. And so many years had passed, and I started this by revisiting that concept. And Warline ended up becoming a really personal story to me, because at that time, like I had made my career going to conventions and selling books, and what had happened was as a result of COVID, conventions all got canceled. So there was this like brief period of time when I wasn't sure we were ever going to get back to conventions, and this was before I discovered live sales, which is what I'm now doing as a new business. Like COVID actually allowed me to grow, but it took months for me to get to that point where I was able to get there. And it started with this project. So it took me some time to put it together and get it to where it is now. And really it was sort of like this character is an amalgamation of the anger I felt throughout that period. Like what if conventions never came back? What if I never got to live the life that I perceived for myself? And it also addresses a lot of the other personal things that were going on in my life at that time too, but set in this world. And I learned from a number of other writers that you should always write what you know. So I think that's when the most emotionally impactful stuff comes out. It's when you're writing based on experience that helps you grow,
And that doesn't mean insert yourself in a goddamn book. It means, what's around you, not you.
Yes, right. Yeah, I think Sim, that's a really good point. That's like something I've had to work really hard on to pull myself out of the book completely. So that's why I made the character look nothing like me at all.
But it's like an example I like to use. It's like, like the two girls in my story, like Loani and Rose in the Nadverse. Like they're not my girls, but I do refer to their relationship and how they interact with each other to kind of play with how they're going to interact between each other because they are sisters. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like I'll take inspiration from how they interact with each other, but I'm not putting them in. It's the same thing between how I would say about Nat and Zed, they're best friend. So the friendship might be inspired from my friendship with somebody else or something like that, or something I've witnessed from other people, but it's not putting them in there. And that's a very fine line that you have to be careful with when you're doing that.
I agree 100%. And the more you suck yourself into the story too, the harder it is to pull yourself out when things suddenly change.
Yep.
And this book is it took me about 3 years to actually get that first issue done. But now we're about 3/4 of the way done with the second issue, so I'm really happy with that. In terms of like the art, so I mean, there's still a lot of work to be done on it, but you're 100% right. You have to be able to pull yourself out and let these characters really take on a form of themselves, and that's something that has been really exciting for me. I've seen a lot of other artists come on and just decide, hey, I want to do a Warline sketch, and someone else the other day like put together like a little graphic of like a kid's version of Warline, which I don't think this is the kind of book that warrants a kid version, but it's just cool that people can take your character and that's what they're supposed to do, right? I mean, like, again, going back to like all the stuff that we perceive through like different artists, like you were mentioning Jack Kirby. Some people look at his work at first and don't get it, but then once you do get it, it becomes your thing to understand. You understand it in a way that's unique to you, and that's how it is with every character that we know in comics. Like everybody has their favorite Marvel character, and there's a reason why that character is their favorite. There's something about them that resonates with them, and that's something that I really hope to see happen with Warline is for more people to be able to understand this character. And really
it's one of the things I thought was funny about Mobius. Because if you know anything about Mobius, before he became Mobius, he was just going by his name Jean Giraud. And when he was doing that, he was doing Blueberry. And his style was very, very realistic until he decided to go Mobius. And Mobius, that was where he was experimenting and he was having more fun with it. But it's one of the things that he mentioned often. He goes, I always found it weird how when he was doing his best work to what he thought was his best looking work, right? Nobody gave a damn. But when he started giving a damn and just having fun with his art, that's where people starting and acknowledging Mobius, it's kind of a the same thing as Kirby. Kirby, when he was drawing a bit more realistic or a bit more like before, like that, you would say the Romans comics, until he embraces power drawing, and it's weird, but yeah, it's the same principle as when you learn art. Master everything, work your ass off, then forget everything and just wing it.
All right, let me see here. We got Russ saying Russ says he's got a sword and sorcery book on the board at present. Ooh, we have to learn more about that, Russ.
That's awesome.
Let's see. I'm working on it, so I'm working on the pitch and trailer. Sim keeps going on and on.
Oh, fuck you! I did ask that for the trailer when you first launched.
Sim, I recently, you're talking about Mobius. I recently reread the Incal. So the first time I read the Incal, I was really disappointed because I was expecting it. So many people were saying, so much stuff was taken from it, like Fifth Element. So I was expecting something along those lines. And I didn't really see it for what it was until I watched El Topo for the first time. And then from El Topo, I went to watch Jodorowsky's Dune. And then after I saw Jodorowsky's Dune, I'm like, I need to go back and read.
Now then you understand. Like me, I remember watching Jodorowsky's Dune. I reread the Incal. I reread Meta Baron, the entire thing, and it was even better.
Yeah, it really is. So I got before the Incal and the final Incal, but I don't believe either of those are done by Mobius. Did Mobius do the Meta Barons?
The thing is, Mobius didn't do the other Incal because he was supposed to be doing the final Incal, but he died. He did the first issue, but died. So Ladron came in and took over.
He's awesome,
and he's a fucking amazing artist, dude. I discovered them on Elephant Man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're the original Elephant Man that was drawn by him. Hip Flask. The two Hip Flasks, I have them in hardcover. Dude, they're fucking insane. He won like artist of the year, painter of the year. He's fucking insane. Ladron, he's fucking insane.
He really is. And if you checked out the El Topo books,
I got it.
He did both the sequels, and then there's a third one coming out like next month. Actually, I'm really excited.
He changed his style for that one though. And to answer your question, no, Meta Baron was not by Mobius. It was by Juan Ramirez, which is another one of my legends that I love so much, but he passed away.
This is true. So he says, Onrie, no, don't mention these people. Sorry, we'll never stop not talking about your book. I
have to say, there's there's stagnation on the campaign right now. Like we're exactly where we were yesterday. No new backers, no old backers. So I figure, what's the point of going on and drumming on when we could be talking comics? But that was, and especially with somebody who I can relate to on this, because honestly, if we're talking about all that, this is all the stuff that's in Warline. Like this is the stuff that's inspiring Warline. This is all the stuff that I'm reading. And what's influencing it?
Just to mention another name, because so is like sim yellow card for excessive Franco-Belgian comic history spam. So if you like the Meta Baron and the Inkle, please check out another one of my favorite fucking artists called Philippe Drouillet. If you do not know who Philippe Drouillet is, he's the reason why we have Star Wars. The entire the Darth Vader, the Stormtrooper, the entire Empire was technically designed by him. Philippe Drouillet is one of the biggest freaking French comic book artists. He was there side by side with Mobius. He's a co-founder of Heavy Metal magazine, and his main book was Lone Sloan. Check it out, guys. He's one of my heroes. Love him, and he's still around.
Oh, Mr. Brink is with us. Hey, Dave. He says, Chris having his morning beer? No. Morning root beer. I was trying a new one.
It's still beer.
Not a fan of it, though. Wasn't that great? Let's see.
So how many people who are watching right now are U.S. based?
Dave is like, stop trying to claim Star Wars for the French. Dude, you British didn't do nothing.
Stop talking myself, you know. It says Drouillet was up there with Mobius, and if I remember correctly, there was some dumb nerd rivalry between them.
Yeah, it was a dumb little rivalry, but it's not like they hated each other. It's more one wanted to be the rock star, while the other one was more of let's all be together. It's kind of weird, but that's mainly how I would say it. It's not it's.
Which books would you recommend by Juliet? Like if I'm
Drouillet?
Yeah.
Start by the sixth voyage of Lone Sloan and Delirium, and then go up, because technically it's all linked. Salembo is fucking insane. He took the book Salembo and adapted it in his universe with the okay from the original writer. I'm telling you, it's really, really, really freaking good. The only bad side about his book at a certain point is that he was so in love with his wife, his muse, that he ended up trying to put her into the book, but she died. So there's some cutout of like pictures of her in the book in a certain points, which is the only thing that some people were like, eh. But it's freaking insane. His art, like he inspired Kennedy, something Kennedy, Mike Kennedy or something like that. The guy that did all those Star Wars comic books. That you'll see his style is in the same style. He inspired a lot of 2000 AD back then too. Yeah, he's been around for a freaking long time. But his name went down because when his wife died, he took it really hard. And his book called The Night is the inspiration for Mad Max.
I have to check that out now.
Right,
Cam Kennedy. Thank you, Canales. I was looking for his first name. Cam Kennedy. Thank you.
All right. I need to play this trailer. Dang it.
Let's do it.
Do it.
Pretty cool.
So 47% of the goal. We've basically been stagnant since last night. One thing I want to mention too is I noticed like we got some people here who are maybe out of the country, and right now we offer free shipping for anyone who's domestic, but we will service people who are international. We just have to charge separately for shipping. But yeah, there's noises from Chris eating ramen on the stream. Yes, I do a lot of research. I actually had you know how they actually show how the sound effects are made.
Mhm.
Like you hear like a loud boom, but it's really just like a watermelon dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did all that too. So most of the time we heard a lion growling, that was my toilet flushing.
I don't know why when Marinus is saying I'm not British. I was answering to Dave about the British thing, but you're not better. The Dutch didn't give us nothing else but a Dutch angle for a camera angle.
Government, hell yeah.
Yeah. So the main inspiration for Warline 2 was Masoyama, who created Kyokushin karate, and I was always like really enamored with this guy and what he did. He created the 100-man fight, and he just the whole idea of like the iron body, like training yourself to the point where your entire body is just rock solid. And that was I originally set out to tell his story like as a biography, because he led a really interesting life. He was actually Korean, and he ended up in Japan, and then after the war he retreated to the mountains and he developed this style, and he lived in the mountains for 3 years. And he shaved one of his eyebrows, so that would discourage him from wanting to go back and re-enter society. And he just hardened his body. And then he came out and he started like fighting all these, challenging all these different fighters and like just whooping ass. So a lot of that was sort of like the basic idea of Warline. But I really wanted to bring the idea of the daughter is really kind of what I feel elevates the story, because the daughter character is that was a tribute to a stillborn child that I lost. And I remember when we lost her, it was sort of like she didn't have a chance to live, and the idea of just losing a fetus and it just being discarded, and never having a life and never having a chance. So I wanted to give that character a chance. So the story actually starts out with the two of them going to mountains and training. She learns everything. If you look at the 2 pages up top, that's actually her training. And we see on that right-handed page, all those poses, everything that was all choreographed. I spent hours on the internet, like looking up different poses and everything and just clipping them together, and forming this. And all of the fight scenes throughout this entire book are all choreographed. It was actually my editor's idea to go about doing it this way, but we used the different colors to establish growth in the character. As she was getting older and everything and becoming stronger, and also showing him get older too. Mm-hmm. And initially we wanted to, I kind of saw like an old Wesley Snipes for this. Like if you take Wesley Snipes from Blade and you just make him old now, because he was the original hero that got everything going in the movies and everything. So that was another aspect of it. It's like when you're away from something for so long and you come back, people tend to forget who you are, and originally the idea was Warline came back and everybody forgot who he was. We made a change to that in the story, just because I think it makes it a little too egocentric if he's only concerned with his own presence and the fact that people don't remember who he is.
Like his fame and stuff, reputation and whatnot.
Yeah, and his daughter, this is really her story. This is her coming to the understanding of who her father was, and taking on his legacy. And it's also a very it's also him coming to terms with his anger, because he has a lot to be angry about, as you'll see throughout the story. And the anger is really what fuels him. It's what's been fueling him for his entire life, and that's the whole idea of the whole dystopian government that we set up throughout the story. Because that's actually a relationship I was in that was very controlling. And when you're in a controlling relationship, you feel like someone's always watching you and critiquing everything you're doing. Nothing you're ever doing is right. They're always watching you. They're always wondering where you are, always assuming things about you, assuming the worst about you, and keeping you from being your best.
Yeah, they want all your attention.
They want all your attention. And Warline is what I would have been if things had never changed. And, just uncaged now after years of being, beat down and manipulated and holding on to that aggression. And so this is a book that's it is very violent. It is very in your face. It's going to feel like it's going in one direction, but then I'm going to throw that in another. You're saying it's called marriage. You're not wrong about that. Marriage is a huge topic in Warline.
Hey, Hojo.
And everybody laughs about it, but that is one of those. It is something that gets addressed very heavily, and I think it's especially parenthood too. I think it's one thing to marry someone, but then once children are brought into the picture, everything changes. And the truth about Warline was you never wanted it. You didn't want a child, because why would you want a child in a world where things are so fucked up, where no one is ever safe, where people are just constantly being mowed down, or
That reminds me of another book I liked a lot back in the day, but we never got this continuation. Do you ever read Body Bags?
No.
By Jason Pearson. So the idea is that he's the guy's a big hitman, right? That he works for the mob or something like that, right? And then all of a sudden he has a little girl called Panda that comes in, which he had a daughter with somebody else, and she wants to be just like him. And he never wanted her, so that's yeah. I like that dynamic. The fact that she comes in after he didn't know about her, and she just wants to be a body bagger like him, and he's like, holy shit.
yeah, following in those footsteps.
Yeah.
I think one thing my editor really kind of brought home for me, because this book hit a lot of roadblocks, and there was a point when I just felt like it was getting too dark and I couldn't do it. I was actually ready to just throw in the towel with this. I'm like, this isn't. Nobody wants to read a story with no redeeming arc, or no change in the character, where it just keeps getting darker and darker. And we both came to a realization pretty early on that the daughter was the redeeming aspect of the story, and her taking on her father's legacy, and trying to live up to that, and then learning to become her own person, I think is.
But that's what I like about it, because that's why I brought it up, even though Soul saying I diverted from the actual point. But the point is this. I've been saying it all the time. Having a kid, being a parent, it's not just you raising that kid. That kid changes you.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, Soul. Sim's been doing it a lot lately.
Yeah. Yeah, I make this interesting.
But it is good to hear that you're offering the ability for international folks to buy this. Because a lot of our chat's international. They're all over the place.
Yeah, and I'll work with you guys. I will. I'll charge you for shipping separately. But if there's other comics you're looking for, I can help you find them. I do live sales shows on 2 different channels every week. So if you want me to send you a big box of books, I have a customer that regularly buys from me who's in Germany. But if you're in Canada, usually it's not so bad. I just can't give you an idea. I can't give you a lump or just like a general cost of what shipping would be without actually weighing the package. And so everything just depends on, where it would be. But again,
Between
if
15 to
it's back-
25.
yeah, it's something like that. It'll probably be somewhere around like $25.
It depends on what you use as a mailer. If you use the envelope or the box, it can be anywhere between 15 to 25.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it also depends on what you get. But again, even
One of the thing here is something that they add. It depends where you are in the country. Like if you are like in the big city, it's cheaper than sending it into like your rural. Sorry.
And you want to know what's crazy is like I'm about 5 or 6 hours from Toronto. Like I live in Chicago, so I'm not. I could literally drive there. So the fact that
Dude, I'm in Montreal.
it's actually like closer for me to
Just drive
Toronto than it is to Texas. I mean, it's just more government extortion, which that's another thing I also
hashtag blame 9/11.
Yeah. Oh, that changed since 9/11.
Yeah, because before I could just go move to the States. I could send you send you anything by an extra stamp. Ever since 9/11, they closed the borders, and now we're treated like we're a country separated by a fucking ocean.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, before we were
it's
just
closer for me to ship to you than if you're living in Toronto than it would be if you were living in California. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
But yeah, what I was going to say is even if you pledge at the $10 level, I'm going to hook you up with the digital version of Warline plus the first issue of my other comic, Yisun Shin. So you get two digital comics, and yeah.
Yeah, I was actually, Onrie, going to bring that up. I didn't know you had done Yisun Shin.
Yeah.
After I messaged you.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's the series I've been working on for a long time. That's actually how I met Stan Lee. He wrote the forward to Yisun Shin.
Yeah, because my brother had bought it for me. He was at a con and bought Yisun Shin, and it was signed and everything, and gave me the copies he bought and everything. I might have actually have met you. Well, not met you, but seen you once. Have you been to Steel City Con in Pittsburgh?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we met over there. Steel City's a fun show.
I've seen you there then, because I walked past your stand there. I remember because I was like, "Hey, Yisun Shin, that's the comic Jay got me," and I think I've seen you there.
That's cool. Yeah, I remember that was actually the one show where I was flying back home. I was on the same plane as Eddie Furlong, so that was kind of cool to. He like sat right behind me. I was like, "You're John Connor."
Wait a minute. What do you think about all this AI stuff going on right now, John?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. Bristolian Dave, hail, sir. He says, "This looks really cool. It's got a really nice message from your own personal experiences. Bravo." Yes.
I appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. I thank you for looking at it. We got some really cool variant covers too. So, and the variant covers are a great deal no matter how you look at it, whether you're international or not. But we had Chris Madd do this cover here, which was a tribute to Damien Scott's Batgirl. And when I originally asked Chris to come on and do something for me, he wanted to. It was like, let's just do the standard tribute cover. Let's do a Amazing Spider-Man 300 or Dark Knight Returns. And he was like, no. Everybody's doing that. Let's do something different.
Yeah, you gotta stand out.
Let's stand out. And I just left him to it. And what he gave me, it almost kind of has like a Brian Bolland feel to it a little bit. If you look at the figures at the bottom, not so much the figure at the top, but I really like that Kia, the daughter, gets her own cover because the other variants don't just focus on her. And there's a reason why we're not putting a lot of focus on her yet in terms of covers. Like her character is really going to expand more as the series progresses. And you guys are going to see Warline change and Kia change dramatically as we progress through the story. So the first arc of Warline is actually going to be 3 issues, and each book is 48 pages in length. So it's a double-sized book, and it's not your standard comic book. Like, it's not the 32-page. We're doing 48 pages, and it's all 100% story, cover to cover, no ads or anything. And that's one of the variant covers that we're going to be doing. With our variants, we always keep them virgin so you can appreciate the art. We put all the credits on the back of the book, like we do here. And we number each book too. So you're getting signed and numbered variants. So that's the Chris Mad variant. If you scroll down, we also had an artist named Kanan White, who's really well known.
Kanan White. Wow.
Yeah, he went in and did his take on it. We had our Eastern Shin colorist do the colors for this, and I'm really happy with the way this turned out. It's great seeing the two of them team up and are brawling. Yeah, I actually have a funny story to tell you about that. The book was actually originally going to open up with a sex scene. And it was actually, I decided to change that because I didn't feel like it. I didn't feel like it was the right place for it, and didn't feel like it struck with the emotion. But one of these days, I'll share the page, and I was really happy with the way it was illustrated. It just didn't work for the story, and it was one of those cases where I had to kill my babies. So that's anyway. Going back to it, this is the Kanan White cover, and I'm really happy with the way this turned out. It's a cool brawling cover where you see both characters, fighting side by side. And then we brought on Stan Yak to do our final cover. And Stan is very well known. He's done a lot of different stuff. He's worked on Ninja Turtles, and he's done a lot of stuff for Source Point Press. He's doing a lot of indie books. Some of them are currently up on Kickstarter as well. He's a phenomenal artist, and we had Robert Nugent come on to color his stuff. And I'm really happy with the way all these covers turned out. And if you scroll back up, you can see the 1A cover that was done by our resident artist, Dexter Wee. That's standard 1A cover. And if you get all 4 variant covers together, it's $50. The combined value of all of them is $70. But if you were to just back at the $50 level, even if I ship it to you, you're getting it at the value that it should be at, and keeping in mind that each book is going to come signed and numbered, except for the 1A cover, because we're printing up 5,000 of those. But it's a $10 book because it's a double-sized book, and I'm really happy with the way this turned out. Everything about it, especially the lettering. That was something we really agonized over, and making sure like those special effects really popped on the page. And we made a lot of small adjustments to it. Another person who really helped me out was Stephen Frank, who did, he worked on Iron Giant, and he was the lead animator on that, and just did a whole bunch of different animated movies, and is actually working on the season of What If for Disney Plus. And he gave me some great feedback that helped us, really fine tune the final book. So we've had a lot of different people come in, and professionals, and they've given us their praise for the book, and I appreciate all that.
But Onrie, what was I going to say? Now, gosh dang it, Soul. Soul, you're right. If we see a backer pop up, we'll know that Marinus is still awake. After he's seen those naked ladies.
Well, I think right now a lot of people are probably really, upset about the news of John Romita Sr. And it just seems like the last 2 days have been kind of stagnant, and not just with Kickstarter, but even with my live sales shows. It just seems like there's something's not right in the air. So it's just one of those things where I kind of understand that this is just how it goes, and sometimes you just got to be patient. And
things ebb and flow.
And don't forget, there's also people not having as much spare money to just spend because of the inflation and the people.
Yeah. It's tough.
I'm staying on top of the chat, Soul. I'll have you know. I'm just waiting for an opportunity to, an opening to speak on the chat.
Yeah, I wasn't shutting up.
Yeah.
I was sorry about that, Chris.
No. It's fine. It's fine. I like this cover. I like the King and White one. I always like action, a bunch of action in my covers, or something that alludes to what's going on in the story and stuff. So I like this one. This one's pretty cool.
So there's a link here. Oh, for PBS. I tried copying the link. It's not popping up. Let me see.
What's that?
It says the page cannot be found, so there has to be a problem with it.
PBS. Oh, Soul's putting some sort of link.
Yeah, you put a link and
let me see what he's doing now.
It's probably one of those German links there that only works for them.
Probably something degenerate.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So why did you share his picture with us?
That's my picture. I started when I started out in comics.
Tell the story behind it. Okay, I got you.
So when I started out in comics, I realized I needed to really stand out and literally stand out. When I go to conventions, I don't typically stand behind my table. I stand in front of my table, and it's not to rob attention from anybody. It's so that I can provide you with better service. I can hand you a book. I can shake your hand. I can show you things. And I'm a firm believer that motion creates motion. When you're engaging with your audience, you typically tend to get better interaction, better results. So this is something I started doing, and I realized quite early on that I was able to move quite a few copies of Yisun Shin, my signature series, which is also available on this campaign, by the way, digitally and physical copies. In fact, there is a reward where you can get all of our trades and everything. But the idea is not I can chop your head off, but I started selling out at different conventions, and Yisun Shin was, this Korean admiral. He had a sword, and I'm like, you know what? I get a sword too now. And the reason why I got that sword was because when I went to Korea, they gave me a sword, and it was a replica of Yisun Shin's sword. I actually have it right here. I'll pull it up.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So Yisun Shin's battle sword was lost during the time of the Japanese occupation of Korea during the 1900s. But this sword right here was a replica of a Chinese sword that the Ming Dynasty gave to Yisun Shin because they were so impressed with his abilities in combat. And the inscription on here is "One sweep stains the mountains and rivers in blood." So when I went to Korea to promote Yisun Shin, some cosplayers gifted me this sword, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to bring this sword with me to different cons, and I'm going to hold it up. So I started bringing it with me to conventions, but it was really long, and it got damaged. There was a handguard on it.
Oh, that sucks.
So it's just now a display piece. But eventually, I got another sword, and it was actually a wedding gift. And it was a replica sword it was a Japanese replica sword that was given to me, and it was just a display piece as well. So I started bringing that with me, and then I decided to get a new sword recently because I wanted something like that was me. So I actually ordered my sword on Amazon. I knew it came sharp. It's a sharp sword. You can get it on Amazon. It's like under $100. I actually had to get it dulled, and my dad's got a metal shop, and so I took the sword over there, and they dulled out the sword. They took off about a quarter of an inch off the blade, so that way I can bring it to conventions with me. So yeah, that's the story behind the sword, and it's all just there for theatrics and to look.
So it's sold.
That's awesome. There. Now you guys know the secret story of why I carry swords with me to
Oh,
convention.
hello, Captain Tuttle. He says Onrie Kompan is a comic king.
Yes.
Says,
Kevin tells me, man, he's Korean based.
and well worth reading. All right, so
Thank you. I appreciate
we've got a positive review already here.
Yes.
On the street.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So it says nice, and we get bonus dog appearance for all the pet friends of the channel.
Yes.
You know who you are.
Yeah, Bentley's hanging out here.
Oh lordy. So you said that the book was double size. How many pages is that exactly?
48 pages.
48 for $10. That's not a
Yeah.
bad price, folks.
Yeah. And yeah, we got some CGCs, the Frank Uzan covers that I showed off earlier. I had a couple of those CGC'd, and they came back. They're all signature series. They all came back 9 point somethings, but they're slightly different grades on it. So I didn't want to put like a flat number on there. But either way, you're guaranteed to get something above a 9.0. And I think we have. Actually, should check right now where we're at with that. So we also have some original art for sale too. That is coming from the Philippines. If anybody decides to grab it, but we have the CGCs, the black, white, red covers are. We have 4 of those left. They're going at 150, and that's because that print run is only 30. There's only 30 of those books in existence, and it's not being reprinted. And then the Frank Uzan, the full color ones, are going for 100, and we have only 2 left. So those are moving.
Yes, those are some rare ones for the big collectors.
Yes, sir.
This could end up being worth something.
Yes, that's the hope, and we really wanted to tap into the collectors market with this, and especially like seeing how things have worked out with Yushin Shin. We've really pushed hard. We recently sold our first piece of original art for Yushin Shin for $400.
Wow.
We're doing I think we're doing it at 500 because I got the pieces need to be shipped to me, whereas with Yushin Shin I had the pieces already, so I was able to kind of cut a little bit of a discount. Maybe we can work something out if anybody's really interested in it. But these are also key pages, so like once I sell these off, it's like I'm not getting them again, and it's something that'll help out the artist because I'm buying it. You're not just pledging to get this piece. I'm not taking all that money. I have to buy it afterwards from the artist.
Mm-hmm.
The campaign is closed off. So yeah, we got three pages. The first page of the book, we got the second page of the book, and then we got page 10. And what you're seeing in all these pages is first appearances. Like the first page is the first appearance of the Overseer, who's the villain of Warlion. He's like the dictator. And the second page is the first appearance of Warlion and Kia. And then the third page is the first appearance of Berserker, who's the first main villain in the first issue. But then you also have the first cover, which not only has the art, but it also includes the actual second piece of that cover, which the artist did the original cover art, but it didn't. I wanted it to look more like bricks were breaking, so he layered the bricks on top of everything else, and so we're selling all that stuff together. Those 2 pieces together as a set. And again, it's limited to 1 person, and once we sell it, it's gone. So we're kind of firm on our price with that, but it's cool. It includes an issue 1. You get a PDF as well, and you got a piece of original art. And you never know what can happen with that.
So says Sim, don't be so sensitive. I didn't mean you can't say anything anymore. Just give the guests some air.
Well, actually, you know what? I loved what Sim had to say. I really appreciated the fact that I could feel his love and passion for this industry. And you know what? That's the best way to honor the legends that are no longer with us, because their work, their legacy lives on through us as fans and as creators. So I appreciate it. You're awesome.
I don't feel bad at all, because usually what I do is I highlight the passion of the creator.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Another thing I want to mention too is if you back Warline on a physical level, and this other project called Blood and Fire, which is totally killing it right now. I'm actually going to be on with that creator later this evening on another broadcast. You get a print from both of us, and it's that print right there, which is an 8x10. And it's got War Lion, and it's got the main character of Blood and Fire. And if you're into like samurai books, like Yisun Shin, you should totally check out Blood and Fire.
It's funny because I messaged both you and the creator for Blood and Fire about coming on at around the same time.
Oh, right on.
And Sol is adding here, Onrie, Sim is awesome. I just like to roast him. That's what we do here. Yeah. That's why it's called the morning roast, not because of coffee, because we roast each other.
Yeah, you guys all make fun of
the point is we make fun of each other to make you guys feel more comfortable, so we can get to know you as you are, instead of being stuck on trying to promote your book. It's what we do here, so that we roast each other on it. It's not the end of the world.
I thought it had to do with coffee.
No.
That was a mistake. All right.
I'm the only one drinking coffee here.
You are, literally. I actually have coffee waiting for me. I'm getting so much energy. I'm already awake from being.
You see Sugar here, Chris? He drinks coffee, then he can't sleep for a week. So
Yeah, I can't. I don't do coffee. I drink soda, and I'm up for a whole day.
Yeah.
From a little bit of soda, so can't do anything else.
Yeah, he's a classic hillbilly. See, I used the right one this time.
Yeah, you better.
Redneck.
Oh, you even got somebody from the Fuhrer and the Tramp.
Dexter Wee is actually the artist for the Fuhrer of the Tramp. That was the book that got me to want to work with Dexter. And Sean McCardle, who is the writer of Fuhrer and the Tramp, he's a very good friend of mine. He helped me a lot with Warline too. If you actually look at the lettering of the main cover, that was all Sean. You know, we normally stack War on top of line, but you know, he was like, no, you should do it, you know, sideways. So that was his idea. So I always wanted to see it stacked, but he made it work the other way, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'd bought Fuhrer and the Tramp off him at a con.
At Steel City, right?
Yeah.
You're lucky you got that, because that book's out of print.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah, he's about to get the rights back. Sean's fantastic. He's actually working with Dexter on another project, which will be coming out soon, called Wolves of Babylon, and he's doing a werewolf book. And I've seen some of the artwork in there, and it is killer stuff. You know, Dexter is just really bringing his A game to everything he does. And he's a phenomenal artist. We're actually bringing him on to finish off Yisun Shin for us, and I'm excited to be working with him. He's incredible. He's really great with direction, and he also brings his own ideas to the table, and he understands comics. He understands he's not just doing it to get the work done. He's actually like really invested in making the product the best that it can be.
What's this now? So Chris had coffee once, and now he's working night shift until he retired.
Yep.
Yeah. Steel City.
I still have to go to that one.
Yeah, it's an interesting show.
I haven't done a con in the US yet. I need to.
Let me see here.
When you come out to the U.S., you let me know. We'll hang out.
Bring
Because I
it
do a
up.
lot of those shows.
I'm going to bring up the Yisun Shin website here.
Yeah, which is not where you want to go right now. You want to go to the Kickstarter for Warline. Even if you want to buy Yisun Shin, we got Warline on there, or we got Yisun Shin books up there for sale too. But you can definitely visit our site. It's kind of in need of being updated, but I haven't really done much with it in a long time. But I don't even think we have our 10th issue up there yet, or even our 9th or even our 9th issue. But there are 4 more issues of Eastern Shin that need to be that we're 2 more issues of Eastern Shin that we're working on, and then the series will be completed.
I don't have a wallpaper on my computer. I might have to.
No, you can download one for free.
Might have
They're
to
free
download
wallpaper.
on there. It is a cool book.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And fans of Eastern Shin are going to feel right at home with Warline.
Yeah. The art's nice too. I like the art.
Thank you.
Going on.
The guy who did the first art for us, he's actually working for Activision now, and he's doing all the Call of Duty.
Really? Wow. Yeah, he's moving on up.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. Yes. Warline. There's the link. Thank you, Soul. Oh, yeah, look at that. Yeah, do you have? I remember a trade paperback for Yisun Shin.
Yeah. So the Yisun Shin trade has the forward by Stan Lee in it, and it's actually going back to press soon because we're about to sell through our second print run of it. It collects the first 4 issues of Yisun Shin and also has over 50 pages of bonus material. And there's interviews with the creative team, there's character profiles, and like a director's cut where I kind of like talk about what went into the book and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I got the trade paperback. I know I've got the floppy.
It's a mice in a World War scenario. Putting Chris will pay you $1,000. That's awesome. Actually, I did do a World War II book. I did another graphic novel about my grandfather's life and his experiences during World War II as a Russian Jewish soldier who fought the Nazis. And that's also going to go to Kickstarter later this year. We're going to get that book back to print.
Oh, is that the Mark's book?
Yeah, that's Mark's, yeah. And you can actually get a copy of Mark's right now through the Warline Kickstarter if you're interested.
All right. Yeah, so if you're interested in Yisun Shin or Warlion or even Mark's, go check out Warlion's Kickstarter. Yay. Let's see. Let me bring it right back up one final time because we got to start to wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
Henri's got things to do, people to see.
People to do, things to see.
All right. So go check out Warlion. Looks great. I do really like the art.
I appreciate it. And we still got 22 days to go. We're at 103 backers. It's been a little slow this last couple days. And again, it's understandable with everything going on right now. So I really hope this isn't it. I hope we're not going to remain stagnant. Hopefully, we'll see some backers come in, and that'll be great. But Chris and Sim, thank you so much for having me on the show.
Yeah, pleasure.
Fantastic. I love you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I might end up back in this one. I'm not sure yet because I've still got a book or two I need to back, and I try to limit because of my own funds right now is quite limited.
It's how it goes.
That's what I keep telling everybody. It's one of the things that a lot of people are getting hit hard right now, and not just in crowdfunding. I'm talking business-wise.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things we need to keep in mind. It's the fact that as much, everybody's like us. Everybody's expenses going up, and the money coming in is going down, or the worth of it is going down. So a lot of people are going through a little rough time right now, and they have to limit their spending monthly. So it's a thing. Like my campaign was stagnant for like 2 weeks. Then I got a few backers. It's something that we all have to get used to at this moment because printing, shipping, everything's going up. People's life are getting more expensive. So yeah.
Yeah, if it were the other way, I'm sure everybody would back everything. I know.
Yeah. I used to back a whole bunch of more books. I used to back a few every month. Like I was doing my taxes and I was going over all the backing I did for last year, and I'm like, oh damn, there's a hell of a difference between what I backed for the 4 years before. And it's not that I don't want them books. It's just one, I'm Canadian, so $25 US goes quickly to like Canadian plus 25 shipping. That's 50 US. So it's kind of like, like I
It
said,
sucks. Yeah, it's rough. I totally understand.
Yeah. So, Henri, I know you gotta get going. So, whenever you wish to head out, you can, of course, can.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for having me. And I hope you guys will have a chance to check out the campaign again and make a pledge. Even if you can't, a share, a like, anything. And if you want to follow me on social media, you
I,
can
fo-
find me on
I
Facebook.
followed you on Twitter right now. I
Oh,
followed
perfect.
you.
I'll follow you right back. And if you follow me on any platform, Instagram, it's O Kompan on Instagram. You can follow me on there, and I will follow you back. And I want to stay connected with you guys, and hopefully you guys will have a chance to check out Warline and become backers. So I will see you later. Have a great rest of your day.
Later, Henri.
Yeah, see you guys.
Later, Henri. Yeah. So everybody do go check out War Lion. Henri's a pretty nice fella, and that's a cool looking book.
And don't forget to sub, like, and share.
I already have Yi Sun Shin, so may have to check out War Lion soon. Let's see. Oh, good stuff's here. Hey, good
What's
stuff.
up?
You said, "Am I late?" Yeah, a little bit.
It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, we was checking out here. I'll bring it up again. We was checking out War Lion here on Kickstarter. It's a martial arts book. Man, look at that. Ain't that cool looking? Wow.
Mm-hmm. Like, it reminds me of that, it would be great friends with John from Beyond.
Yeah.
Like, it reminds me of that type. Like, they could totally have a crossover between that and what was the name of it again?
Oh yeah, John from Beyond with
Something Fury. I just can't remember what it was.
with the dragon and the martial
Yeah,
arts.
Dragon. Yeah.
Oh, oh, now I feel bad for not remembering the title.
I know. It
So-
always fucking happens. John from Beyond. Tiger or something. Fury Tiger Fury or something.
Oh man,
Magna. Okay, that's the
there
other
was Magna. That was the other book.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, now I feel dumb. Let's see. I'm just doing like sugar. That's true. Good stuff. I do it all the time. I do it on your streams. I do it on Randy's. I'm terrible. Let's see. Oh, Dunkel Zipper's here. He says, "Oh no, already over? I am much too late." Yes, you are, Dunkel Zipper.
What's up, Dunkel Ziffer?
You missed the whole guest show.
I don't know.
Left.
I don't know if Soul told you, but I'm already working on the 38 to 40 page story for the Blood Hunt. Just saying.
Yeah, we were talking about War Lion here on
Mhm.
Kickstarter. It looks pretty good. The art looks really solid. Nice, cool martial arts comic. And I always like a good martial arts comic as long as the fight choreography and stuff and it flows really good. Oh yeah, those are good. That's always good stuff. And then he also has he also did Yi Sun Shin, which was interesting, which I didn't even know when I reached out to him. I had gotten that book from my brother had gotten it for me and everything, and I always like stuff that ties into history and everything. So, and I like that because I never had thought I would see a comic book about Yi Sun Shin, so I was quite pleased with that. Let's see.
Was it Black Tiger or Fury Tiger? I'm trying to remember what was the goddamn book. John from Beyond book. Was it Black Tiger or Fury Tiger?
Gosh, Sam. Black Tiger.
I don't know.
Let's see. Stokos says, "Sim, at least some good news." That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It's still my blood hunt joke stuck with it, but that's right.
Yeah, well, you're getting a full colored edition plus, new stories.
Let's see.
And Vincent is gonna go for a short little vacation to Vatican City.
Yeah, but
Hmm?
there. What was I gonna say? Oh gosh, dang it! Now. Yeah. So. Oh, now I can talk about. So I did a video yesterday. It was only like 4 minutes.
Yeah, Logan was watching it.
Why?
He was laughing at you
How dare he?
because he was expecting you to put on the red dress. He can't wait for you to put the red dress on. I had to explain to him that you're trying to figure it out if you should go to the run or go to a con. And I'm like, because it's very expensive to go to the run. And I do support what Bill Ryder said in that comment. He said, buy a ticket and just go to the con.
It's not about expense. It's about safety.
But it's expense, dude. It's the trip there and the safety over there. Because right now it's turning into the capital of murder of the United States.
That's my concern. So
The problem is that I was gonna say, people say do not. You know what they say about people with pigs, but over there they don't just have pigs; they also have crocodiles. So it's like it's like the state to make people disappear. You don't want to go there. Not now.
So I made a video yesterday asking for people's thoughts on what I should do that with New Orleans, if people would be upset, because I know I promised to go to New Orleans for the Red Dress Run and do all that, but New Orleans has, since I made that promise, has apparently gotten pretty bad and kind of dangerous. And I've got, my mom, she was, she's not going to go with me now because of that, how bad it's gotten down there. Pale Rider has said about go down.
As much as he was, yeah, come, we'll have fun. Now he's like, fuck you, don't come. There's too many people dying.
Yeah, I've got multiple people now telling me, that either live there or and stuff like that. Now saying I shouldn't go down. So
even Figaro said it. Like, don't.
Yeah. So now I'm kind of like, well, maybe I should just do something different. So
Still said it.
So I seen Pale Rider. I haven't looked at the comments, but I seen Pale Rider pop in the chat there, and he said about buying a ticket but not going, and instead go, because I had suggested going to Steel City Con and cosplaying as Jessica Rabbit or something. And just doing that.
You walk around with the Roger Rabbit on your back.
And then I could do however she dresses. She has those long red gloves, don't she?
Yep.
And then have the dress.
With sparkles on it, if I remember.
And all that. How would I even do sparkles? Come on.
But they come with it, dude. There's a little glitter on it.
And,
that fabric that has that little glitter on it. It doesn't. It's not the end of the world. See, Spell Rider say, at the run, you'll be surrounded by people in a red dress. My goal of embarrassing you is better served by the con.
Well, that's true. I would stand out more.
Yeah.
It's not all about you, Pale Rider. This ain't being done just for you, bud. It's about everybody. I made a promise to everyone.
Pop just popped in. Hey, yo, where is Onrie? Onrie just left. You're late, buddy.
Yeah, you're late.
You're like almost 2 hours. Now you left 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, he had things to do. We can't keep him forever.
Dude, I would definitely, if I could afford it, I'd definitely go meet you guys there, dude. I would definitely go to Germany and see you guys. Like, me and Dave, we've been wanting to go to Germany, and the fact that you, Soul, and Dunkel Ziffer there, it's even better for me to want to go.
Also, when Blood Hunt 2 is finally released, I suggest Sim and Chris come to Germany. We'll celebrate the release in a pub and also save ourselves the shipping costs. I see what you're up to, Dunkel Ziffer. You're just trying to get that free shipping.
It's okay, you pay for my ticket there, I'll bring the books. I'll bring the books.
Let's see. Soul says, I think it's a fair deal. In New Orleans, no one knows Chris. And when he goes to Steel City in a red dress, that's true. He'll not hear the end for years to come. Yeah, I know people at Steel City. I don't know anybody in New Orleans. Oh, God.
And see, Bob just answered, I run a net where scheduled shows would make it easier. It is a scheduled show, buddy.
Oh, that's true. Oh, man, I didn't even think about that.
What?
I'm going to go to Steel City, and all the people I know there is going to see me in that dress now. Oh,
Yep.
Man.
Yep. And there's people going to go there just to see you in that dress.
No, I'm sure not.
Okay, how many people here are going to go to Steel City Con for the first time just because Chris is going to be there in a red dress?
Nobody's going to.
Come on, say in the chat. I am interested of going there for the first time just to see
Half our folks are international. They're not going to travel all the way to Pittsburgh for that reason. Don't be ridiculous. Let's see. I schedule a show. Like,
yeah.
Come on. What are you talking about?
Pale Artist, but to make up for the not going to the run, you have to do a live stream in the dress prior to the con, non-negotiable. I do agree.
Do a live stream in the dress prior to the con.
Like you film yourself before you enter the con. See, even Crystal's like, time to go to Steel City. Even Soul's like, Steel City.
Well,
like,
he always does that. That doesn't mean he's going.
No, but he would totally go if he could. Am I right?
Well, I would do a lot of things if I could. Let's see.
He goes, I'll pay your beer bill, Sim. Promise. Although, if I think about it, the plane ticket might be cheaper. Not really. I don't really drink that much.
I do need to schedule shows more ahead of time. I need to get on scheduling. I've been sloppy lately. I've been sloppy about scheduling more ahead of time. Usually I do it like weeks ahead, but.
And Uncle Ziffer, it's not because I don't. It's not that I don't drink because I can't take it. I can drink for days. I just don't like it. I just don't drink much.
Yeah, he says I'll pay your bill.
But in good company, I do enjoy it. I'm one of those. I'm a social drinker. Like I rarely fucking drink, but when I'm in good company, I enjoy good beer. Or sometimes rum and coke, rum and bourbon, or something like that. No, Coke and bourbon, rum and coke. A nice blonde or a red beer, I like that. But I'm not a big drinker. I rarely drink. He goes, I'm going to try and get Steel City to put sugar on the panel, because he's T-Rans.
Why would they do that? No. What would I even talk about, Pale Rider?
Because, dude.
I just go up there and be like, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why I'm on this panel.
Because you're stunning and brave.
But I'm not trans.
Neither are them. You're still a drag, and right now they went from like transgender to just drag. So drag is now trans. It's weird now. It's fucking weird.
Drag's a different thing.
No, not anymore. They all consider trans now.
Well, that's dumb.
I know.
It's a whole different
Now
thing.
you can just dress up as a chick and you pretend to be a trans. It's not the same.
I don't get it. Whatever.
Drag and trans, it's two different things.
Let's see.
That goes the first sim. If you come over, teach you the German beer drinking way. Okay.
I don't know. The German way of drinking beer. That might be just some way of doing something.
As long as it's not an email.
That's a euphemism. The German drinking beer way.
John goes, if the ticket would be cheaper considering your beer consumption, but no one else drinks that much.
Welcome to Trans Dress Press. Shocking. Yeah.
See, so it's like Chris will have longer waiting lines than those wrestler turned actors who go to these cons. Yep, pretty much.
I've been trying to keep.
And if I can make it there, it'll be even better.
I've been trying to get. I've been sloppy about getting guests on lately, and
maybe I need to start a GoFundMe.
I need to do that, but I've been having trouble getting guests on too. I've been reaching out to some. I've been trying to keep up here recently. I'm like, okay, you need to get guests ahead of time, scheduled ahead of time, so you get
Mhm.
like a week or two ahead of time, so people know. But like, I've been reaching out to some people, and I ain't been getting responses.
Yeah, you're being ghosted.
But yeah, I've been trying to reach out to people who've got active campaigns on Indiegogo and Kickstarter and stuff like that. And I'll message them, and some people have responded back saying like, "Oh, I'm busy," or I'm booked, packed for the next all the way up until the campaign ends. So that's good. Then some people just don't reach out or respond. So I ain't been I've been getting duds, I guess. But then I have been getting a couple people answering back, like Onrie.
Yeah, but then I won't say what I have.
I know Soul FMC too. I know I got to do that in the next
What
month,
about FMC?
about reaching out to people on FMC as well.
We've had people from FMC
Yeah.
here. What the fuck?
I know. I just gotta. I haven't looked recently on it in the last week or so. I got to do that. Just the other day, I went through Kickstarter.
But yeah, but it doesn't matter the platform, doesn't it? Like, I mean, like you get to see all the campaigns. That's what I'm saying. Like you don't have to go and fund my comics to find the people there. We know them. That was my point. Like, we know who's there. Like, we know like Ariel, the book is on it.
Oh yeah, we had
them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What, there's another campaign that launched not too long ago that was doing okay, but I don't remember which one it was. But it's all creators we know are in our chat, so they're all welcome.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
and of course, everybody's welcome
Yeah.
to reach out to me. Like, of course, people can send me a message if I want to come on. People are always welcome to send me a message. And
We've made it pretty quite clear. We don't care if you're Kickstarter, Indiegogo, Fund My Comics on your own fucking website. Everybody's welcome as long as you're you like the geek stuff and you're into comics and other stuff like that, video games. We even have people from video games here. We don't care. As long as it's geek and you're trying to promote it and you're a cool guy, you're welcome here. Not cool guy, cool person. There we go.
all right, let me see here. Paris says, "Wait, what? Sloppy sugar? What? I know I'm sloppy. I need to get on it. I need to start getting my guests lined up, like at least like a week ahead of time, so people know and what's going on. I have been sloppy lately. I don't know. Mom's back. Mom's back from Virginia. She came back last night, so maybe I'll be more on the ball now since I'm not cat sitting and stuff. I need to get to the gym too more. I've been sloppy about that too. Harari says, I was thinking a live stream in the dress this weekend. You just want that to happen. Quick, ain't you? He says, let people know you're serious and you get to look pretty. I haven't even done an unboxing yet. I do need to get on that. Oh, we got Coleman. Bonjour. Hi.
What's up?
Yeah, with his Peggy profile picture. Yep. Ask Shane where my B book is.
I don't know. I guess he likes to get pegged too.
Where is our B book? Maybe we need to get him back on the show again. Grill him. Interrogate him.
I don't know. I colored the final pages. Everything should be right. Ready to go.
I've been sloppy lately. Mom's back.
It is supposed to launch this month.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. Is he launching on Bancroft?
I have no clue.
Hey, we need to get him back on, ask him these questions, see what he's doing, figure out what his deal is.
Yeah, he's probably gonna pop back on and go, "Hey, I'm back. I'm gonna," and then disappear.
And disappear again.
Yeah.
It's every Monday. Where'd he go?
Yeah, he made a new girlfriend. It's how it is. Is he gets single, we see him, then he finds a girlfriend, disappears, then he comes back. He changes gym buddies like he changes underwear.
He's he's a fair weather co-host, I guess. He comes around when he feels like it. I'll tell you.
You know, comes here, tries to be the number one co-host, then gets put back in his place and reminded that he ain't. Then he leaves, then he tries that again when he comes back, pumped up a bit more. But you know,
It's okay. We still love him.
he's not even in the chat.
But yes. I don't know. What do you think?
But he's been working. He's been working real hard to try and get money to pay for his book.
How should I unbox it? Should it be through a live stream or just a video? So I do need to unbox this dress.
Unbox it now.
Now? Well, I haven't even built up to it. Gotta do it like a
Exactly. Surprise people. Everybody's already in the chat. They're saying.
There's only 5 people in the chat.
Fine then. Create his own little stream. Because nobody's in the chat when you do a fucking video. Just saying.
You're so sassy. Look at all! Holy cow! Look at all these things I gotta unbox. So I got the dress I gotta unbox. I got a thing for Passion.
Oh, you got a Telso Novatera?
Yeah. So I gotta unbox that.
It's finally coming home like the Titanic.
I got Broken Compass comics. One of theirs. I got Strider Nolan Media. I'm not sure which one that is. Maybe that's Golden Age. I'm not sure on that. I got Carlo Rose Deathsworn
I wonder if I'm ever gonna get this.
coming in. I got my couple things of manga that came in. My Spy X Family and that food truck one. So I'm really curious how that one is.
Why don't you just open them?
I got 2 copies. Apparently, I must have double ordered for Russ because I got two things from Russ here.
Yeah, the thing is quite simple. I backed it twice. There was one going to you, but you backed it again. So you got one that I paid for you and one that I paid, if I'm not mistaken, because I backed it for you.
That sounds like shenanigans.
Fuck you.
Yeah,
Was that the first one? Because I remember backing it twice. And then you go, oh, I backed it. I'm like, motherfucker.
I thought that was the first. I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe it is the first, but maybe you made a mistake. Maybe he likes you too much.
Well, one, it says quantity 1 on 1 for the comics, and then the quantity 2.
Okay, I have to say one thing too. Maybe it's because you had a big package, and it's cheaper to send 2 package regular than a big package. So maybe that's why. Maybe he's planning to. Yeah.
And then I got Inked Studios here.
Yeah, dude. I like Russ. I support Russ.
So I'm not sure which one this is. Inked Studios. Which one is that?
I don't know what Ink Studios is. I know what Ink Slayer.
But there's another one. So I've got so many things to unbox. I'm going to try to do an unboxing video. An unboxing video every Thursday.
If the boxes survive.
One video every Thursday. So that way I can get through those once, And then, yeah, I'll do that.
Oh, me, I got my Hammerella.
Okay, McGee's saying live stream. Okay, we'll do a live stream of the unboxing. Oh, did you get your Hammerella?
Yeah.
I read. Let's see. I read Death Betty. I've read Death Betty, and I'm halfway through Hammerella.
I don't know what Dead Betty is.
Death Betty came it was one of the books you could have got. I guess like a little add-on for Hammer. It was something else he did. Yeah. He inked, he drew it, and Adam Jackman wrote it, colored by Jean Francois Bellew, and then lettered and edited by Joshua Cozine. Yeah. So it was interesting. I'm not sure I'm not sure how to describe it. It's like a goth girl, Death Betty there, and her ex boyfriend is like Death, and like the whole issue is basically like she prevents him from like because like this guy was gonna like go and kill himself in like a car accident, like kind of thing, like car accident, and that was Death was there with him, and she basically prevents it. And it seems like she's preventing it just to spite him because he's her ex, and she's like, you're Death. You're dragging people to death. He's like, no, I'm doing my job, kind of thing. Like, you need to stop. And then that's when it kind of ends. So it was interesting. So I'm kind of like, by the end of it, I was kind of like on the side of Death. I'm like, well, hey, he's just trying to do his job here. He's a cosmic entity. Death is a thing that happens. Like, why are you being a dick to your ex? Preventing him from doing his job. Come on, Betty. So I don't know. It was interesting. It seemed like a book that my niece might like. The art's cool though. Like, it's got some cool like visuals. Maybe I'll do a review on it. Yeah, maybe I could do a review on it. But like the visuals are nice. Yeah, it seems like something my niece might get into. But I'm halfway through Hammerella. I'm halfway through it. I don't know. This seemed like my niece could get into it when she was younger, maybe. This could have been up her alley when she was younger. But it does have some good, it's got plenty of action and stuff. Let's see. Thanks for butchering that French name, Chris. I enjoyed that quite a bit. I tried. Sim, that's a lot of only death can save us, but I understand. Yeah. Yeah, Russ does great work. I will continue to back his stuff. Let's see. Important message. Yeah.
So it's like
I talked about war lions, yes.
So it's like Dunkel Ziffer wants to come over and read me his Blood Hunt fanfic over some beer. Should I accept? Yes.
Oh Lord. I'm thirsty like a vampire. Off to Edeka.
What's Edeka? The pub?
Edeka.
Probably a name of a pub.
I would assume. Oh, what else? What else was I reading? I read Death Betty. I'm halfway through Hammerella. Have I read? I don't know if I've read anything else. Of course, I've gotten through most of the manga I bought, except for I think Spy X Family.
Did you ever read Tales from Never's One?
Tales from Never's One. I think I did. That's been a long time ago. I can't remember.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even think you read it.
I know at the very least I flipped through it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, bits of the story.
If you remember the story of Elrica and what happened with the shark guy, that means you probably read it.
I'll have to go back and reread it because it's
because I remember you got it when there was a whole bunch of shit coming in.
Yeah, because I'm cloudy on it, so I can't remember if I read it. So I'll just reread it, and there we go. Oh, it says Adeka is his favorite beer dealer. Okay.
So yeah, probably a pub.
I got a couple root beers to try. I don't.
So saying, all right, if you ring at, it goes, Uncle Ziffer, all right, if you ring at my door later, I will not chase you away this time. Uncle Ziffer, by the way, Soul gets a visit from the whole Bloodhunt fan club of Germany.
Yeah, like I got this reading draft one. It's all right, I guess. I'm not huge on it. But then I also got this one here. Sprecher root beer. It's in a can. I'm not. Maybe it'll be good.
Is that the one of those root beer that has alcohol?
Made with honey? No, it's non-alcoholic. Non-alcoholic root beer. It's in a can. I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. Usually I drink bottle root beer, but hey, you never know. This could be good too.
And so saying, Sim, Adika is a grocery shopping chain. Fair enough.
I'm gonna try it on the next stream, I think. Oh, grocery shopping chain. I'm gonna try that one on the next stream. Hey. All right, I do have a stream for Saturday though. It's going to be Randy's going to be joining us to talk about the Fool. So I do have a stream lined up for Saturday. At some point I gotta do a big group stream because one of the guests I reached out to, that the gentleman for Blood and Fire that we talked about there earlier, the samurai book, he says he tends to go for shows with like multiple guests because he's kind of anxious, anxiety and nervousness. So I said, okay, I'll try to get a couple guests on for a show. That way, he can feel more comfortable. And so I'm going to try to reach out to some other folks about getting them on. Let's see.
Oh, Cole's leaving. Aaron to run. Gotta go. Take care, folks. Aaron, he's just going to buy more comic books.
You're not fooling us, Cole, man. Sam Dunkelziffer would buy those beer cans that are called
0.5
and cost like 30 cents. He doesn't have very high standards. Coleman's a cheap drunk.
No, he's talking about Dunkelziffer being the cheap drunk.
Yeah, Dunkelziffer. Yeah, what did I say? Did I not say Dunkelziffer?
No, you said Coleman.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, Dunkelziffer. He's the cheap drunk. Oh man, I'm getting kind of hungry. I got stuffed pork chops waiting on me. Yeah, stuffed pork chops with bacon and Gouda cheese.
I was thinking maybe we could play some Evil Dead after this stream, if Dave's up.
I don't know. If I did, it would only be for maybe a couple hours. I slept for a little bit before the stream, so I can be up for a little bit later than normal. But gosh, today's Wednesday. It's going to be the big truck. I was going to see if Mom wanted to go to like Walmart and into the pawn shop place. The one boutique place. It's like a little mom and pop shop's closing up.
Mm-hmm.
It's closing up at the end of this month, and so they're selling everything 50% off and trying to get rid of everything. So it says maybe check that out and see if they got anything that could be useful or something. Ouch. All right. Alrighty. I need to start. What? Insomnia Chris. You're a stuffed pork chop. Thank you, Will. Thank you. Relevant. What's this? Relevant Sim HRU.
Meaning, you just sent me a message. You add me on Twitter saying that me and William Shatner were in his relevant people on Twitter.
Okay.
And it's an honor to be put there with the Shatner.
Oh, Shatner.
Mhm.
And by the way, did we play with the one of your girls that draws 2 last time when I didn't pay attention to the class on the first match and said I messed that up? She was like, "That happens." Cute.
Yeah, we did play with one of my girls. Well, actually, yeah, I think we
Yeah,
did.
it was the
Alex.
artist. Yes.
Yep. Alex.
Yep. Yeah.
Hopefully she'll.
That one. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that went. Who's Kino Subway?
Yeah, the one who don't know me.
Why is that guy in our family Discord? That's Chris. Oh,
that guy. Oh Lord.
But the girls are not here. So if we play with me, Dave, and somebody else, yeah.
We'll have to deal with the boys. Oh.
Yeah, the boys are not here too.
What? None of them are there?
Nah, Nat's at school. Logan's at work.
Oh no, empty nest.
Yeah, I get. We got Logan back to work.
Yeah. Put him to work.
Uh,
Got bills to pay, boy. Oh man. All right. Yeah, I do need to wrap this up. I need to get my food, check in on Mom.
So don't forget to sub, like, and share, and go back that book that was here, War Lion, and go back to us on an adverse too. Still in demand.
It does look good. That's why I reached out to him. I was like, that looks pretty good. I always try to get stuff that I think looks good or that somebody in the chat might be interested in seeing. That's why when I look for guests, that's what I try to do. Or if they reach out to me, or if somebody from the chat pops up and says, "Hey, I have this personal," and I try to message them. All right. Yeah, because I think Marinus reached out to me the other day about somebody on, and I messaged him. I haven't heard back yet.
I like to add, everybody's welcome. We don't care about your fucking drama.
Yes.
You got drama, you got beef with people, we don't give a shit. Everybody's welcome.
Yeah. As long as you're cool, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't come in here and start nonsense.
Or after show. That happened too.
Yeah, as long as you don't do that, I don't care. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, thanks everybody for joining us, and see y'all on Saturday.
Later.
Right.